Most international closers are sending out applications like they're throwing spaghetti at a wall, hoping something sticks. But here's what nobody tells you. The top earners aren't playing the numbers game at all. They're using a systematic approach that tracks every lead, every application, and every follow-up in a weekly pipeline. While others are frantically applying to random job posts, these closers know exactly which companies they're targeting, when to follow up, and how to position themselves as the obvious choice. The difference? A simple tracker that turns chaos into cash flow. Most international closers think sending 50 applications is better than sending 5. But the math tells a different story. When you look at actual response rates, mass applications create the opposite effect you want. Scattered job searching doesn't multiply your chances, it divides them. Here's what happens when you spray applications everywhere without a system. Your response rate drops to less than 2%. That means from 100 applications, you might get 1 or 2 responses. Compare that to targeted approaches where closers see 15 to 20% response rates. The difference isn't luck, it's strategy versus chaos. English-speaking employers spot generic applications from international candidates immediately. They can tell when you've copy-pasted the same cover letter across multiple companies. The language patterns give it away. Phrases like, "I am very interested in this position," or "I believe I would be a great fit," scream mass application. Native speakers write differently. They reference specific company details. They mention recent company news or initiatives. They connect their experience to exact role requirements. When hiring managers see generic applications, they make instant judgments about your work ethic. Busy application sending actually signals desperation to them. It tells them you're not selective about opportunities. You're not doing research. You're just throwing applications at every opening you find. This creates the wrong impression entirely. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. Take 2 closers from the Philippines. Maria sends 100 applications per week using the same template. She customizes only the company name and position title. Her applications mention generic skills like excellent communication and strong sales background. She applies to everything from insurance sales to software demos to real estate. Carlos takes a different approach. He sends 20 applications per week, but each one is researched and customized. He studies the company website, he checks their LinkedIn team, he looks at their recent posts and updates, he mentions specific products they sell, he references their company values, he explains how his background connects to their exact needs. After 1 month, Maria has sent 400 applications and received 6 responses. 3 were scams. 2 were low-paying cold calling positions. 1 was legitimate but required experience she didn't have. Carlos sent 80 applications and received 14 responses. 12 were legitimate opportunities. 8 led to interviews. 3 resulted in job offers. The tracking data reveals patterns that random applications completely miss. Maria never tracked which types of companies responded. She didn't know which job boards worked best. She couldn't identify what application elements got attention. She was operating blind, repeating the same mistakes every day. Carlos tracked everything. He knew that healthcare companies responded 23% more than finance companies. He discovered that LinkedIn applications got better responses than Indeed applications. He found that mentioning specific pain points in his cover letter doubled his response rate. He learned that following up after 5 days increased interviews by 40%. This tracking showed him exactly where to focus his energy. Instead of applying to 20 random positions, he could apply to 10 high-probability positions. His success rate kept improving because he was learning from data, not guessing. Here's where most closers go wrong. They think more activity equals better results. They believe that sending 50 applications today is better than sending 10 strategic applications. But hiring managers aren't impressed by volume. They're impressed by preparation and fit. When you mass apply, you also create practical problems for yourself. You can't remember which companies you applied to. You can't track follow-up schedules. You miss opportunities because you forgot to respond to interview requests. You show up to interviews unprepared because you didn't research the company properly. The systematic approach wins because it focuses energy on quality opportunities rather than quantity. When you research before applying, you identify better matches. When you customize applications, you stand out from generic submissions. When you track responses, you learn what works. When you follow up strategically, you stay top of mind. Organization beats volume every single time because English-speaking employers value preparation over persistence. They want to see that you understand their business. They want evidence that you've thought about how you can help them specifically. Generic applications can provide this evidence. The closers earning $15,000 to $25,000 per month didn't get there by applying to everything. They got there by being selective. They chose opportunities where they could demonstrate clear value. They invested invested time in understanding each company's needs. They position themselves as solutions to specific problems. This selective approach also protects your reputation in the market. When you apply strategically, you avoid situations where you're clearly not qualified. You don't waste hiring managers' time with inappropriate applications. You build a professional reputation as someone who applies thoughtfully. The difference becomes even more obvious when you consider follow-up. Mass applicants can't follow up effectively because they don't remember details about each application. Strategic applicants can reference specific conversation points. They can mention company developments that happened since they applied. They can demonstrate ongoing interest and engagement. Every successful closer eventually realizes that job searching is a skill that requires systems. Random applications are like cold calling without a script. You might get lucky occasionally, but you can't build consistent results on luck. You need processes that work regardless of market conditions or competition levels. Building a proper system starts with understanding what you're actually tracking. It's not just about counting applications sent. You need to track application sources, response rates, interview conversion rates, and offer conversion rates. You need to identify which approaches produce the best opportunities and which waste your time. The platforms you're probably ignoring contain more $15,000 to $20,000 closer positions than Indeed and LinkedIn combined. While most closers stick to the obvious job boards, the real opportunities are hiding in places where business owners post directly. They're looking for closers in Facebook groups. They're advertising in places you've never thought to check. They're using methods that bypass traditional recruitment entirely. The 4-pillar lead generation system that top international closers use daily starts with understanding where actual decision makers spend their time. These aren't HR departments posting generic job descriptions. These are business owners who need sales help right now. They post in communities where they know other entrepreneurs hang out. They advertise where they can find people immediately. They skip the lengthy hiring processes because they need results fast. Let's start with the platforms you already know but probably aren't using correctly. Indeed and LinkedIn require specific keyword strategies that actually work for high-ticket positions. On Indeed, searching for high-ticket closer or high-ticket appointment setter with the remote filter reveals opportunities advertising monthly salaries from $20,000 to $45,000. But most closers search for generic terms like sales representative or customer service and miss the real money. LinkedIn shows even better numbers when you know what to look for. A recent search revealed 5,000 new appointment setter jobs and 1,400 new high-ticket closer jobs. That's massive demand happening right now. But you have to search specifically for high-ticket closer combined with locations like United States. Generic searches return customer service jobs paying $15 per hour. Specific searches return closing positions paying $15,000 per month. Here's where it gets interesting. The hidden gold mine exists in Facebook groups where business owners post directly. These aren't corporate recruiters following company policies. These are entrepreneurs who saw their sales drop yesterday and need a closer today. They post in groups like ClickFunnels communities, entrepreneur networks, and industry-specific groups where they know other business people gather. In these Facebook groups, you'll find postings for appointment setters and closers with potential earnings ranging from $3,000 to $10,000 per month, even for entry-level positions. The business owners posting these opportunities own the companies. They can make hiring decisions immediately. They don't need approval from HR departments or corporate managers. When they like what they see, they hire fast. But here's the problem. 80% of closers are searching wrong keywords and missing the best opportunities entirely. They search for sales jobs instead of high-ticket sales. They look for appointment setting instead of lead qualification. They search for remote work instead of commission-based closer. These wrong keywords return low-paying positions because that's what those terms typically represent in the job market. The Facebook Ad Library method opens up opportunities that most closers never discover. This tool shows you every active advertisement running on Facebook and Instagram. When you search for industries like fitness and weight loss, you see companies actively advertising to collect names, emails, and phone numbers. These companies need appointment setters to call those leads. They need closers to convert those appointments into sales. Here's how this works in practice. You search fitness in the ad library and find dozens of coaches advertising lead magnets. They're collecting contact information from potential clients. Someone has to call those leads. Someone has to book appointments. Someone has to close those sales. But these companies don't post on Indeed or LinkedIn. They hire through their networks or by reaching out directly to people who contact them. Your Facebook and Instagram feeds can become lead generation tools when you understand how the algorithm works. The platforms show you ads based on your interests and engagement patterns. If you engage with fitness content, you'll see fitness ads. If you follow business coaches, you'll see coaching ads. These ads represent potential employers who need closers right now. To influence this algorithm, start engaging with content in niches where you want to work. Follow fitness coaches if you want to close fitness programs, like business development posts if you want to close business coaching. Comment on marketing content if you want to close marketing services. The algorithm learns your interests and shows you relevant opportunities. Creating a fresh Instagram account and searching hashtags like fitness while following related creators accelerates this process. The platform recognizes you as someone interested in that industry and shows you more relevant content. This includes ads from companies looking for closers, which many people scroll past without realizing they're looking at job opportunities. The key difference between personal development and business development opportunities matters more than most closers realize. Personal development companies sell to individuals spending their own money. Business development companies sell to business owners using company budgets. Business owners typically have higher budgets and make faster decisions because they see direct ROI from investments. When you find opportunities through Facebook groups, direct engagement increases your success rate significantly. Don't just apply through generic contact forms. Message the business owner directly. Reference their specific post. Mention something about their business that caught your attention. This personal approach demonstrates initiative and helps you stand out from standard applications. Your daily activities should follow a systematic approach that keeps opportunities flowing consistently. 5 LinkedIn searches using different keyword combinations uncover new positions daily. 3 Facebook group checks in relevant business communities reveal direct postings from owners. 2 Indeed deep dives using specific high-ticket terminology find positions that others miss. The platforms that work best for legitimate $10,000 to $20,000 monthly closer positions are Facebook groups for direct owner contact, LinkedIn for corporate high-ticket roles, Indeed for remote opportunity volume, and Facebook Ad Library for identifying companies with active marketing campaigns. Each platform serves a different purpose in your lead generation system, but they all require specific approaches to produce results. The Instagram algorithm method works especially well for younger closers who understand social media engagement patterns. Older closers often find more success with LinkedIn's professional networking approach. Facebook groups work for all ages because they focus on business relationships rather than social media trends. Finding opportunities means nothing without proper research and qualification of each potential employer. That $25,000 per month closer position you just applied to, it's probably a scam, and here's how to know in 30 seconds. The job posting promises massive earnings with minimal experience required. The company name sounds impressive, but you can't find their website. The application process asks for personal information before telling you what you'll actually be doing. These aren't coincidences. There are warning signs that separate legitimate opportunities from elaborate schemes designed to waste your time and steal your money. The 3-tier system for evaluating opportunities breaks down into good, bad, and scam categories. Good opportunities come from established companies with proven track records, clear commission structures, and inbound lead systems. Bad opportunities might be legitimate, but offer poor earning potential, require cold calling, or come from unstable companies. Scam opportunities exist solely to extract money or personal information from desperate job seekers. Understanding these distinctions saves months of wasted effort and protects you from financial loss. The most obvious scam indicators start with payment requirements. Any company asking you to pay for training, certification, or access to their system is running a scam. Legitimate companies invest in their employees. They provide training at their own expense because they want you to succeed and generate revenue for them. When someone asks for upfront payment, they're making money from training fees, not from actual business results. This model only works if they can keep recruiting new people to pay those fees. Unrealistic income promises represent another clear warning sign. Post advertising $50,000 monthly earnings for entry-level closers with no experience required are targeting people's desperation rather than offering real opportunities. Legitimate high-ticket closing requires skills, experience, and time to develop. Companies making unrealistic promises are selling dreams, not jobs. They know most people won't achieve those earnings, but they need the promise to attract applicants. Generic job postings with attention-grabbing fonts and excessive use of emojis signal unprofessional operations. Legitimate companies create detailed, well-written job descriptions that accurately represent the role and requirements. They use professional language and provide specific information about responsibilities, compensation, and company culture. When you see posts written in all caps or using phrases like "make money fast" or "no experience needed," you're looking at scam operations. The subtle red flags catch international closers off guard because they appear more legitimate on the surface. Companies might have professional-looking websites and social media presence, but their business model doesn't support the compensation they're advertising. They might offer high base salaries with low commission rates, which indicates they don't have sufficient revenue to support those fixed costs. Sustainable high-ticket closing companies rely primarily on commission-based compensation because it aligns with actual sales performance. Legitimate-looking posts can hide major problems that waste months of your time. A company might advertise warm leads and inbound traffic, but the leads are actually cold lists purchased from third-party vendors. They might promise comprehensive training, but the training consists of generic sales videos available anywhere online. They might claim to sell high-ticket products, but their actual offer prices are too low to support meaningful commissions. These problems only become apparent after you've invested significant time in their application and training process. The research process starts with company website analysis. Legitimate companies have professional websites with detailed information about their products, team members, and company history. The website should include clear contact information about pages with real team photos and case studies or testimonials from actual clients. If the website looks hastily constructed, contains only generic stock photos, or lacks specific details about their business model, consider it a red flag. LinkedIn team verification confirms whether the company has real employees in legitimate roles. Search for the company name on LinkedIn and examine team member profiles. Legitimate companies have employees with detailed work histories, professional photos, and active LinkedIn engagement. Scam operations either have no LinkedIn presence or show fake profiles with limited information and suspicious backgrounds. Pay attention to when team members join the company and whether their experience matches their claimed expertise. Offer assessment requires understanding the relationship between product price and commission structure. A standard commission in the industry is 10% of the sale, though some companies offer 15% or more for experienced closers. However, high commission percentages mean nothing if the product price is too low. A 20% commission on a $500 product generates $100 per sale, while a 10% commission on a $5,000 product generates $500 per sale. Calculate potential earnings per sale based on realistic closing rates for your experience level. Checking for warm leads versus cold calling requirements makes a significant difference in your success potential. Companies with inbound lead flow generate prospects through advertising, social media, or content marketing. These leads have expressed interest in the product or service before you contact them. Cold calling operations require you to contact completely unqualified prospects from purchase lists. The conversion rates and earning potential differ dramatically between these approaches. Commission structure evaluation goes beyond percentages to include payment terms, minimum quotas, and clawback policies. Some companies delay commission payments for 30 to 60 days after the sale. Others require you to meet minimum monthly quotas before earning any commissions. Clawback policies allow companies to recover commissions if clients request refunds within specific time frames. These terms significantly impact your actual earnings and cash flow. Minimum viable opportunity criteria help you focus on positions worth your time. The company should have been operating for at least 2 years with verifiable client testimonials. The product or service should sell for at least $2,000 to support meaningful commissions. The company should provide inbound leads rather than requiring cold outreach. The total compensation potential should exceed $8,000 monthly for experienced closers working full-time hours. The red flags that separate scam job postings from genuine high-ticket closing opportunities include upfront payment requirements, unrealistic income promises without corresponding qualifications, lack of verifiable company information, absence of real team members on professional platforms, commission structures that don't align with advertised earnings potential, and lead generation methods that put all prospecting responsibility on the closer rather than the company. Qualified opportunities require strategic application approaches that demonstrate your value. Your English might be perfect, but if you're using the same application template for every job, you're already eliminated. English-speaking employers can spot copy-paste applications from international candidates within seconds of opening them. They notice when you use identical phrases across multiple companies. They see when your enthusiasm sounds rehearsed rather than genuine. They recognize when you haven't invested time in understanding their specific business needs. Generic applications signal that you're applying everywhere without discrimination, which tells hiring managers you're desperate rather than selective. The three-part customization system that makes international closers stand out starts with deep research, moves into strategic written communication, and finishes with personalized video presentation. Each component builds on the previous one to create applications that demonstrate genuine interest and professional competence. This systematic approach separates you from the mass of generic submissions flooding hiring managers' inboxes daily. The research phase requires studying the company's values, mission, and current team before you write a single word of your application. Visit their website and read every page, not just the careers section. Look at their About page to understand their story and values. Check their blog or news section for recent updates or achievements. Examine their product or service offerings to understand what they sell and to whom. This research provides specific details you can reference in your application to prove you've invested time in understanding their business. Study their social media presence across platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Look at recent posts to understand their company culture and current initiatives. Note the language style they use in their communications. Pay attention to values they emphasize repeatedly. Check if they've recently hired new team members, launched new products, or achieved notable milestones. This information becomes valuable content for your customized application. Research the team members you can find on LinkedIn, especially in sales or leadership roles. Look at their backgrounds and experience levels. Notice where they came from and what skills they emphasize. This helps you understand what type of person succeeds in their organization. You can then position your own background and skills to align with their successful team members. The written application structure addresses specific pain points you discovered during your research phase. Start with a personalized greeting that references something specific about their company or recent achievement. Mention how you discovered their opportunity and what attracted you to their organization specifically. Connect their company values or mission to your own professional goals and personal values. Reference specific details from your research to demonstrate genuine interest. Mention a recent blog post they published, a product launch they announced, or a team expansion they completed. Explain how your background and skills directly address challenges or opportunities you identified through your research. Use their own language and terminology when describing how you can contribute to their success. Address potential concerns about hiring international closers proactively. Emphasize your English fluency and communication skills. Mention your availability during their business hours. Highlight any experience working with English-speaking clients or teams. Position your international background as an advantage that brings diverse perspective and strong work ethic rather than a limitation. Generic applications immediately signal mass applicant to English-speaking employers because they lack the specific details that prove genuine interest and research. When you write, I am very interested in this position at your company, you could be talking about any company or position. When you say, I believe I would be a great fit, you haven't explained why based on their specific needs. These phrases appear in thousands of applications daily, making yours instantly forgettable. English-speaking employers particularly notice when international applicants use overly formal language that sounds unnatural. Phrases like, I am writing to express my interest, or I would be honored to contribute, sound scripted rather than conversational. Native English speakers write more directly and personally. They say things like, I'm excited about this opportunity because, or what attracted me to your company was. This natural language style makes your application sound authentic rather than translated. The video application framework showcases English fluency naturally while demonstrating personality and communication skills that written applications cannot convey. Video applications work especially well for international closers because they prove your English speaking ability immediately. They show your personality and enthusiasm in ways that text cannot capture. They demonstrate that you're comfortable communicating verbally, which is essential for closing roles. The 6-part video structure includes introduction, discovery method, attraction factors, background goals, and call to action. The introduction should be a brief, confident greeting that immediately establishes your professionalism and English fluency. Keep this under 20 seconds and focus on energy and clarity rather than lengthy explanations. The discovery method explains how you found their opportunity and what initially caught your attention. This shows you're not randomly applying to every position you find. Mention the specific platform where you discovered them or the research process that led you to their company. This demonstrates intentional job searching rather than desperate mass applications. Attraction factors highlight specific elements of their opportunity that appeal to you personally. Reference details from your research like their company culture, product focus, or team structure. Explain why these factors align with your career goals and values. This section proves you understand what makes their opportunity unique. The background section briefly covers relevant experience while connecting past achievements to their current needs. Even without direct sales experience, relate previous roles to skills valuable for closing. Highlight communication abilities, customer service experience, or leadership roles that demonstrate relevant capabilities. Goals section outlines what you're seeking in terms of time commitment, income expectations, and career development. Be honest about your availability and transparent about your earnings goals. This prevents misunderstandings later and shows you've thought seriously about the opportunity. The call to action requests specific next steps like an interview or mock call. Be direct and confident in asking for what you want. Suggest specific times you're available or propose a brief conversation to discuss mutual fit. Weaving English confidence into every communication touchpoint means using natural conversational language throughout all interactions. Avoid overly formal phrases that sound uncomfortable. Write like you speak using contractions and casual transitions. Let your personality show through your word choices and communication style. Customized applications get 5 times more responses than generic ones because they demonstrate effort, research, and genuine interest that hiring managers rarely see. Great applications mean nothing without proper follow-up tracking to maximize your conversion rates. The question, what's your biggest weakness, just eliminated another international closer, but it doesn't have to eliminate you. Most closers panic when they hear this question because they think admitting any weakness will cost them the job. They either lie and say something ridiculous like I work too hard, or they reveal genuine weaknesses that make them sound incompetent. Neither approach works. English-speaking interviewers ask this question to test your self-awareness, honesty, and ability to grow from challenges. They want to see that you can identify areas for improvement and take action to address them. The two-sided interview preparation system focuses on answering their questions effectively while asking strategic questions that help you evaluate whether the opportunity is worth your time. Most closers prepare only for the questions they'll be asked. They practice their responses about experience, motivation, and career goals, but they never prepare questions to assess the company's quality, culture, and potential for success. This one-sided preparation leaves you vulnerable to accepting bad opportunities that waste months of your time. Common interview questions follow predictable patterns, and the English response frameworks that work focus on specific structure and natural language. When asked about your biggest weakness, choose something genuine that doesn't disqualify you from the role. Frame your response by acknowledging the weakness, explaining how it has affected you in the past, and detailing the specific steps you've taken to improve. For example, my biggest weakness has been putting my attention towards small details. In the past, I've noticed myself forgetting to upload call recordings into my pipeline or write my end-of-day reports. The way I found I can work around that is intentionally setting times once a project is done to reread and double-check before I do an end-of-day approval or sign off for the day. When they ask about your biggest strength, highlight traits essential for closing success like active listening, emotional intelligence, curiosity, and big picture thinking. Connect your strength to specific results or situations where it helped you succeed. My biggest strength is really just my innate ability to be curious. I was the type of kid who always grew up asking why, and I always sought to understand why things work the way they did. This approach shows how your natural tendencies align with successful closer characteristics. The why do you want to be a closer question requires both selfish and unselfish reasons in your response. The unselfish reasons should focus on helping others and challenging their limiting beliefs. The selfish reasons can include financial independence and supporting your family. This balanced approach shows you're motivated by both service and personal goals, which creates a sustainable career mindset. Your language background becomes a competitive advantage rather than a liability when you position it correctly. International closers often bring stronger work ethic, cultural awareness, and appreciation for opportunities that native speakers take for granted. You can mention your dedication to mastering English communication shows the same commitment you bring to mastering sales skills. Your international perspective helps you connect with diverse clients and understand different cultural approaches to business and decision making. The critical questions most closers never ask would save them from bad opportunities and months of wasted effort. While you're trying to impress them, you should also be evaluating whether they deserve your time and energy. Companies with strong systems and results can answer specific questions about performance, culture, and operations. Companies with problems will avoid these questions or give vague responses. The company assessment framework evaluates top rep production, offer longevity, and lead flow quality through direct questions during your interview. Ask about their top sales reps' monthly production numbers. Ask how long they've been selling their current offer. Ask about their revenue over the last 3 months. These questions reveal whether the company has proven systems and sustainable business model. Strong companies will proudly share these numbers. Weak companies will deflect or refuse to answer. Lead generation quality makes the difference between success and struggle in any closer role. Ask directly, how do you generate leads? This determines if the leads are inbound and warm, which makes your job easier, or cold leads, which makes success much harder. inbound leads come from ads, videos, webinars, or content marketing. These prospects have already expressed interest in the solution. If they say, we don't have any leads for you, but we're gonna give you some phone number a call, that's your signal to walk away immediately. Company culture fit and client success rates become clear when you ask the right questions during interviews. Ask the interviewer why they enjoy working at the company and what their favorite aspects of the team are. Ask about the percentage of clients who succeed with their program or service. Ask what's the kind of inside joke that your guys' team has that you have to kind of be in the know to understand and know. These questions reveal team dynamics and whether you'll fit their culture. Even without direct sales experience, you can highlight skills and training that demonstrate your potential. I have invested extensive hours and money into sales training programs. I have invested at least 50 hours into mock training calls with other students who are learning sales. I've personally trained under Ethan E, watching all of his YouTube videos, and over the past 3 years, I've worked as a waiter where I've specialized in customer service and working with clients. This shows commitment to developing sales skills and relevant experience in customer interaction. If you have sales experience, quantify your achievements with specific numbers, revenue generated, and records broken. I was the top salesman selling farm equipment with over $3.2 million in sales. When I joined that company, they were only doing $3 million a year in revenue, and I helped grow them up to $6 million in revenue. Concrete numbers provide evidence of your abilities and potential value to their organization. The follow-up strategy keeps you top of mind without seeming desperate by maintaining professional communication after the interview. Send a brief thank you message within 24 hours. Follow up with any additional information they requested. Maintain consistent contact without being pushy or impatient. This demonstrates genuine interest and professional communication skills. Position yourself as the obvious choice by showing preparation and genuine interest throughout the entire interview process. Your questions should demonstrate that you've researched their company and industry. Your responses should connect your background to their specific needs. Your follow-up should reinforce your interest while providing additional value or information. Interview success means nothing without systematic tracking and follow-up to convert conversations into job offers. The difference between closers earning $8,000 and $20,000 per month isn't skill. It's the simple spreadsheet they check every Monday morning. While most closers scramble through their job search randomly, high earners follow systematic tracking that turns chaos into predictable results. They know exactly which companies they've contacted, when they applied, what responses they received, and when to follow up. This organized approach creates consistent opportunities instead of hoping something works out. The complete tracking system that turns job searching from chaos into predictable results starts with understanding what information actually matters. Your tracker becomes your command center for managing every aspect of your job search. It shows you which activities produce results and which waste your time. Without this system, you're flying blind and missing opportunities that could change your income permanently. The tracker components include lead source, company details, application date, response tracking, and interview stages. Lead source tracks where you found each opportunity: LinkedIn, Facebook groups, Indeed, or referrals. This data reveals which platforms produce the highest quality opportunities for your specific situation. Company details include business name, website, contact person, and key information about their products or services. Application date creates accountability and helps you track response times. Response tracking logs every interaction from initial contact through final decision. Interview stages document your progress through their hiring process. Your daily activities need systematic logging to measure which sources produce the best opportunities. Every morning, record your planned activities: 5 LinkedIn searches, 3 Facebook group checks, 2 Indeed searches. Every evening, log the results: how many applications sent, responses received, interviews scheduled. This daily tracking reveals patterns you can't see without data. Maybe LinkedIn produces better response rates on Tuesdays. Maybe Facebook groups have more activity on Mondays. These patterns help you optimize your schedule for maximum results. Track specific metrics that matter for international closers. Response rate by platform shows you where to focus your energy. Time from application to response reveals which companies move quickly versus those with lengthy processes. Interview conversion rate identifies which types of opportunities you handle best. Offer conversion rate shows your closing ability in the interview process. These metrics guide your strategy improvements over time. Most closers lose track of promising opportunities and miss follow-up windows because they don't have organized systems. They apply to dozens of positions but can't remember which companies seemed most interested. They receive interview requests but miss the emails because they're buried in spam. They forget to follow up at optimal times because they don't track communication schedules. This disorganization costs them opportunities that could have led to job offers. The weak weekly review process identifies patterns and optimizes your approach through systematic analysis of your tracking data. Every Monday morning, review the previous week's activities and results. Calculate your response rates by platform. Identify which types of companies responded most frequently. Notice which application methods produce the best results. Look for trends in response timing. Do certain companies typically respond within 24 hours while others take a week? This weekly analysis reveals optimization opportunities you would never notice otherwise. Maybe your LinkedIn applications get 15% response rates while Indeed applications only get 3%. Maybe companies with 10 to 50 employees respond faster than larger corporations. Maybe video applications generate more interviews than written applications. These insights help you focus energy on the highest probability activities. The follow-up schedule maximizes response rates without burning bridges by maintaining professional contact at optimal intervals. Your tracker should include follow-up dates for every application. The first follow-up happens 5 to 7 days after applying if you haven't received a response. The second follow-up occurs 10 to 14 days later. The third and final follow-up happens after another 2 to 3 weeks. This systematic approach keeps you visible without seeming desperate or unprofessional. Different companies require different follow-up strategies based on their communication patterns. Some respond immediately to applications, so late follow-ups indicate disinterest. Others take weeks to review applications, so early follow-ups seem impatient. Your tracking data reveals these patterns for each company type. Startup companies often respond within 48 hours. Established corporations might take 2-3 weeks. Enterprise companies can take over a month for initial responses. Tracking reveals your personal success metrics and improvement areas through concrete data analysis. Your conversion rates from application to response, response to interview, and interview to offer show exactly where you need improvement. Low application to response rates suggest problems with your application quality or targeting. Low response to interview rates indicate issues with your email communication or availability. Low interview to offer rates point to interview skills that need development. Your tracker also identifies seasonal patterns and market conditions that affect your success rates. Some industries hire more actively in certain months. Some companies reduce hiring during holiday periods. Some market conditions create more opportunities while others create more competition. This historical data helps you plan your job search activities for maximum effectiveness. Setting up a lead tracking system that actually works for international closers targeting English-speaking markets requires specific columns and categories. Create separate sheets for active opportunities, completed applications, and archived positions. Use consistent formatting and naming conventions so you can sort and filter data easily. Include columns for time zone differences, language requirements, and cultural considerations that affect international applications. Daily lead generation activities you should track to maintain a steady flow of opportunities include LinkedIn keyword searches, Facebook group monitoring, Indeed job alerts, company website visits, and networking conversations. Record the specific keywords, groups, and companies you research each day. Track which activities produce the most qualified leads. Measure time invested versus results achieved for each activity type. Follow-up strategies that work best when competing in the English-speaking job market include personalized email communication, professional phone calls during business hours, and LinkedIn connection requests with custom messages. Track response rates for different follow-up methods. Test various message templates and timing intervals. Document which approaches work best for different company sizes and industries. This systematic approach creates the consistent pipeline that changes everything by removing guesswork and randomness from your job search process. The tracker isn't just about organization. It's about building confidence through control and predictability in your job search. When you know exactly where you stand with each opportunity, you stop feeling desperate. You stop accepting bad offers because you have other options in your pipeline. You negotiate from strength instead of fear. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to start this system. Download a spreadsheet today, create your columns, start tracking tomorrow morning. The closers earning $20,000 monthly didn't wait until they felt ready. They started messy and improved along the way. Systematic approaches create systematic results, and systematic results change lives.